The best coaches in the game, we really ain't playing. We regroup up in the Slack chat where the coaches debrief. We be piecing these puzzles, occupy the chunk of the pie. Ain't no lie when we hit the block, helmets, casket is high. You be seeing helmet after helmet, helmet after helmet. First place, second place, fifth place, eighth place, 12th place, 15, 16, 20. So many helmets, you got blurred vision, we got too many. Get your tech. Oh man, shit. They got us fucked up. Army, regroup. We pledge always to have that edge. We don't fire warning shots. Competition just dropped. We locked and loaded before lock. Whatever the time, yeah. Do you even correlate?
Being the best requires a willingness to outwork your competition. There's always someone smarter, faster, sharper, more naturally gifted to come around.
Hey, welcome in. This is Fantasy Fling with the DFS Army doing a Week 15 cash lineup review. I was able to hit the cash line again, so we're going to go into the lineup that got me there. All right. So this was my cash lineup. Went with Matthew Stafford. He just ended up being the highest owned quarterback on the slate. And as you can see here in the double up that I did, he was 58% owned. So really high owned. And it just made a lot of sense. They had a high team total. Really, they hit it. They had 28-point implied team total. So I liked that with Stafford. And then just the price, he was 6,000. So that really allowed me to get the rest of the lineup to come together. So I got Christian McCaffrey and Kyren Williams. So, by avoiding Josh Allen, that allowed me to get McCaffrey and Kyren Williams, who were just both in fantastic spots. And, there were also some pay down options that I really liked that I felt like I could sneak CeeDee Lamb in there too, because, I really prefer to play cash to have that kind of floor is to have a Christian McCaffrey stud at running back, and then also a CeeDee Lamb stud at wide receiver. Someone of similar caliber. Some weeks it's AJ Brown, some weeks it's Tyreek Hill. But if you can get both of these guys in, you're sitting great. And being able to get Kyren Williams in was even better because he was also in a smash spot going against Washington. So, wasn't too worried about Stafford and Kyren in the same lineup. Wasn't trying to force a stack, but it just ended up working out. We got Jaden Reed. For me, this play was easy because Christian Watson was out and, Wicks was supposed to be out. So we had seen him get design runs. We'd seen him get, 25% target share. So at 4,900, that was just kind of a smash for me. And he ended up doing really well. Rashid Shaheed with Chris Olave out, he was elevated to what I felt like was an acceptable cash play. So, 6 points, he did enough. And then Demarcus Robinson, kind of the same thing. We got Stafford, Williams, and Robinson, but luckily Robinson was cheap, and with Tutu Atwell out, was a good spot. He ended up getting a tutty, 14 points. You'll take that. Chig, 2,900. I wanted that punt at tight end so that I can get CeeDee Lamb, Christian McCaffrey, Kyren Williams, all these three. And, that was going to require a punt at tight end, and that is what you do at tight end. You want to pay down there and at defense. And so we got it. With the Patriots D here. So good cash lineup, 163 points, hit the cash line. And then now, just kind of want to look at just the overall process at DFS Army. This is something that is a very important tool that you have at your disposal for DFS Army VIPs. So you can look at the chalkboard and kind of piece together your lineup. And this will really show you the best plays. It'll show you how high they are expected to be owned, what their projection is. So, as we were talking about, it was really clear Kyren Williams, Christian McCaffrey. These were the two top guys. And with Stafford, you see it's much easier for them to come together if you went with Stafford versus a Josh Allen who's 8,200, or a Dak Prescott, or, Patrick Mahomes. So you see that Stafford is this highly owned. You can kind of figure it's probably so. The matchup's good, but also say you can pair him with like a Christian McCaffrey. And then the same thing with these wide receivers. You could see all the value at wide receiver. We had Jaden Reed, we had Demarcus Robinson, Demario Douglas. So none of the guys were really the expensive guys were getting a ton of ownership. So it was just pretty well spelled out for you. Play the value at wide receiver, play Christian McCaffrey, play Kyron Williams, play Matthew Stafford. And that's what we did. The chalk is definitely going to help with, kind of a safety net for your cash games. And then, the other guy that I think it was acceptable for sure, and even a better play than Chig was going to be Tucker Kraft at 3,000. McBride, I don't like paying over, 4,000, 4,500 for a tight end. So I wasn't going to do that. But obviously, he did really well and he probably still could hit the cash line if you paid up for McBride in this spot. But, I really liked, the one thing where, I normally won't play a guy who's 9,000, who's like 10th in ownership. I want him to be a little bit higher than that. But I made the exception here with CeeDee Lamb, and I just wanted to lock in that floor. He is, his target share has been like 30%. It's been unreal. He's like third in yards, second in like targets. So that was a spot for me that I wanted to get him in there. And with Jaden Reed and Demarcus Robinson, that was the value that I needed to do it. So, I ended up really working out. I'm kind of go through my sheet real quick here. By the way, guys, if you like this kind of content, let me know. Hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share, do all the YouTube things. We really appreciate it. But I did have Josh Allen as cash play just because, he averages like 25 points a game. So, he's got that floor. But, when it really came down to it, just going back to the chalkboard, for me, it was going to be more Matthew Stafford and Purdy just based on the ownership and the price discount and just the overall roster construction. I like the lineup much better with Christian McCaffrey and Kyron Williams. So these were the top two guys. I did have Bijan as a cash play as well, but for me, I wasn't going to get there for my build specifically because I was going with Kyron and Christian McCaffrey. He inexplicably, Bijan hardly got any carries. And if you played him, which I did, in a lot of tournaments, you got burned for that. And that's just how it goes. But, I really liked the 3 running back build this week. I was able to pay down enough that I didn't need to do the 3 running backs because I preferred CeeDee Lamb. But I really think it was pretty well spelled out as far as Christian McCaffrey, Kyron Williams, and then playing one of Ezekiel and Gibson if you were doing the 3 running back week. And then, like I said, I had CeeDee Lamb was the top guy. And then, it was more so pay down options. So, Nakua and Hopkins, of course, made the list and disappointed. But, it was the Garrett Wilsons, the Jaden Reeds, Shaheed, Douglas, and Robinson. So just the kind of build you needed for these value wide receivers to go ahead and get these running backs. And I had Njoku, Kraft, and Shig. So, all the tight ends did well. Rams, Panthers, and, I think the Jets were a viable play as well, based on the fact that Tyreek Hill is going to be out, but it ended up, completely backfiring. So I guess it's a good thing. Did not have them on the list here. But that's pretty much it. And that's going to wrap it up. I really appreciate you joining me. If you guys like this kind of content, again, let us know. And by the way, if you want to be a DFS Army VIP, so you get access to the chalkboard, the cheat sheets, the domination station, all the tools, use code FANTASYFLING for 10% off a VIP subscription. We have so much content coming your way with the NFL, with all the Saturday games and, the Monday, like 3 game slate that we got coming. And then, we just jump into all the other sports. We got hockey, we got NBA, MMA. So it goes on and on. So, no better time like the present. That's going to do it for this week. We will see you all next week for another week in review. Take care, everyone.